Looking poor is the real secret to getting wealthy fast. I live a modest life in Warsaw, Poland, and when people see me buying groceries at the shop or taking the bus, they probably think I'm totally average, financially speaking. But the truth is, I'm on track to retire early, hopefully before I turn 40. I feel I'm doing pretty well financially, but I still prefer to keep a low profile. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever want to look rich, even if I end up having way more money than I do now. In my opinion, looking poor, or at least living modestly, is a great strategy. In the long run, it doesn't just benefit your finances but also improves many other aspects of your life. So, in this video, I'll share with you 6 reasons why you should look poor. The first one being that trying to look rich traps you in a vicious cycle. When you try to appear wealthy, you don't just spend money, you build the habit of spending, and that's the real problem. For example, when you buy or rent a big beautiful house, you will soon feel the need to fill it with fancy stuff. Or if you get a luxury car, you'll have higher maintenance costs, insurance, and the pressure to always keep it spotless and impressive. But even worse, looking rich creates social pressure. When people think you have money, they start expecting you to spend it on yourself and sometimes even on them. The more you show off, the more pressure you will feel to keep up appearances, and at the end you become your own prisoner. And once you are used to spending a lot of money, it's incredibly hard to go back. You lock yourself into a lifestyle that's expensive to maintain even if you stop enjoying it. Looking poor gives you freedom. Keeping your lifestyle simple and your expenses low gives you something way more valuable than status: freedom. If you are not trapped by a high cost of living or by the need to impress anyone, basically you are free and your life gets more flexible because, for example, you can leave your job if you don't like it anymore, or you can work on your own business even if at the moment it's not making you money. More important, if you have a high savings rate, you will probably be able to retire early. For example, with a 60% savings rate, even if you don't have any savings at the moment and you start right now, you could retire just in 12 years investing your savings in an ETF or index fund. To understand better the math behind this, I invite you to watch my video about my early retirement journey. So, before buying fancy stuff to appear rich, you should ask yourself the following question: do I value more status or freedom? In my case, the answer to this question is quite obvious. Another reason why you should look poor is that, at least in my opinion, it helps you build more authentic and healthy relationships. And I'm not just talking about romantic ones, but relationships in general. When you look rich, people might come into your life because they are attracted to your money, your lifestyle, or the status you seem to represent. Even if it's not the only reason, it can still influence their intentions. On the other hand, when you don't show off, you can be more confident that your relationships are real, not shaped by your financial situation, but by who you truly are. Looking rich can make you less likable. I live in Warsaw, Poland, but I'm originally from Italy, and I've noticed that here in Europe the culture around money is quite different from the one in the US. In many European countries, people who show off their wealth aren't necessarily admired. In fact, they are often viewed with suspicion, like they just got lucky or maybe even cheated their way to the top. There's also a strong belief among some people that capitalism is evil, that making money means exploiting others or taking something away from the poor, which couldn't be farther from the truth. The point is, if you openly show that you are rich, it's easy to attract envy, judgment, or even resentment. So in many cases, keeping a low profile isn't just smarter financially, it's also a good way to stay under the radar and avoid unnecessary negativity. Another reason to look poor, or at least to live a simple life, is that it helps you find happiness in the things that really matter. An expensive lifestyle might give you a quick hit of excitement, but it rarely brings lasting satisfaction. You get used to nice things fast, and soon they stop feeling special. That's just how our brain works. On the other hand, when you live more modestly, you start to find satisfaction in your simple daily life, in your routines, your relationships, and also in the quiet moments that you spend with yourself. So you finally realize that happiness doesn't come from the things you own, but from how intentionally you live your life. Last but not least, refusing to look rich, in my opinion, is a responsible choice. Many people today consume more than they produce, often going into debt just to maintain a lifestyle they can't really afford. Or maybe they can afford it now, but they are doing so at the expense of their future and their family's stability. In doing so, they also set a poor example for their children. Instead of teaching them that money is a tool to create freedom and security, they teach them that money is something you use to impress others, and that's really bad. The same applies to our society as a whole. Historically, societies marked by excessive and superficial consumption have often moved toward decline. Instead, societies that embraced simplicity and produced more than they consumed were the ones that created the real long-term progress and well-being. Honestly, I don't want to see our society collapse because of debt, overconsumption and short-term thinking. That's why I believe we should all stop trying to look richer than we actually are. By the way, when I say you should look poor, it's obviously an exaggeration. I don't mean you should actively try to look poor or stop caring about your appearance. It's just about finding your own priorities and finding a balance that works for you. Living by design, not by default. Not chasing what advertisers want you to want. And definitely not living to impress others. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if what I said resonates with you, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss my future videos on minimalism and personal finance, with the perspective of a European guy living in Poland. Thanks for watching and see you soon!